Welcome to Beer Bros and BS podcast, where we down a few select special brews. Today I'm joined with...
I'm Dan.
I'm Armando.
JJ the Metal Chef.
Tony.
Isa, Master Yoda, 1724.
And I'm Dave, the Big Librarian. Today we got a double-decker show for you. Say that 4 times fast. Isa, you want to say it 4 times fast?
I forgot what you said.
Alright, so we've got a double-decker show coming to you. We're going to talk a little bit of Wrestlemania that's happening today. And also we're going to talk a little bit about some of our favorite theme parks. So I guess I'm not that familiar with the Wrestlemania tonight. So what about you, Jerry? What do you think, JJ? What do you think is your most match you're looking forward to tonight?
Okay, I'm going to go with the main event. I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns. Just for the fact that the unknown has been cleared of Brock Lesnar, whether he's going to go back to MMA or he's going to come back to pro wrestling. And so it really opens it up. Big surprise.
Actually, before we get started, because this is Beers, Bros, and BS.
Of course.
Today we're starting off with a Cigar City Good Gourd from 2013. It's an Imperial Pumpkin Ale, 8.5% alcohol by volume. Pours out orange, and it just smells great. Taste of cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice,
It's
Zanzibar,
fantastic.
cloves. And it's obviously at a Cigar City Brewing in Tampa, Florida. So back to what do you think tonight?
So Dan here. What I'm thinking as the best match on Mania tonight, I'm thinking it's going to be the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. I think that's going to be insane. The lineup of it is just ridiculous. I mean, Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler. I mean, you got 2 show-stealing guys mixed in with, 5 other really good wrestlers, too. I think it has potential to steal the show and possibly even be a match of the year candidate.
Who do you think's going to win?
I think Daniel Bryan has to win the belt, and I think that John Cena wins the U.S. title, and then they unify them.
And with some of what you may hear in the background, we are actually out recording live by a lake, so you may hear some chimes in the background. No, we're not in the Keys, we are in the...
It's a form of ASMR. Look that up.
What about you?
I don't want to say the same as Dan because that was my answer. Armando here. I would say Seth Rollins is one of my favorite performers. That Randy Orton match is going to be really awesome. It's an opportunity for that kid to really solidify himself as one of the top performers in the business. And I mean in all circuits, whether Ring of Honor, Ronin, all of them. I think the guy is truly talented. He's one of the best heels, even though people cheer him quite a bit. But yeah, I'd say the Randy Orton Seth Rollins match.
Yeah, that's the dark horse match of the night to steal the show.
And for those of you who don't know, what is a dark horse?
The underdog.
It's a horse.
Yeah, the one you don't see coming.
It's the Black Beauty. I believe it's called Black Beauty.
So Issa, what would be your favorite wrestler of all time?
Hulk Hogan.
Why is that?
I grew up watching him. I ate his ice cream one time. I mean,
One time.
You loved it so much.
You ate his ice cream, or you hated
back
ice
in the
cream?
day, they had those little WrestleMania ice creams, those wrestling ice creams where, it was a cookie and they had the wrestler, in ink. I guess it was made out of chocolate ink, I guess. I grew up watching Hulk Hogan, so he's my favorite wrestler.
And what about you, Tony? Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
My favorite wrestler of all time is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I think he's by far the best ever on the mic. Best at cutting promos and, getting people to cheer for him.
It doesn't matter who you think is the most important.
Nice, well done there. And, always put on great entertaining matches. And, of course, from the U, University of Miami.
Also joining us right now, just getting to the podcast, joining us is Serge. Why don't you say hello? Say hello to everybody.
What up, everybody? Hello.
So you already missed a couple questions. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Well, growing up, it was the showstopper, the main event, Michael Jackson. Not Michael Jackson, sorry. That's what I was listening to on the way over here. HBK.
No, a different type of voice.
Yeah, there we go. No, yeah.
Is it too soon or no? It's 2009. You can
So you're saying?
But yeah, but The Rock. I'll say The Rock now. Now looking back, I'll say The Rock overall is just, yeah, he's the man. Just the way he changed throughout his career, the way he grew, and now he's like America's sweetheart when it
the
comes to
high
movies,
paid,
you know? Yeah.
action figure hero guy.
And what about you, Armando?
Seriously.
Man, this is gonna be a weird one, but to a lot of people, but Bret Hart is my favorite. Now, in hindsight, seeing what he's done, but looking past what the company pushed in your face and all the guy who transcended the storylines just by watching him work in the ring was Bret Hart for me,
Nice.
for sure.
And Dan?
Oh wow, my favorite all time, gotta be the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Armando strutting. And someone just got chopped. Dan got chopped.
High chop.
Yeah, man. No, Ric Flair definitely is the all-time best in my opinion. On the mic, classic, underrated in-ring wrestler in my opinion. He had one of the longest careers I could think of. But yeah, I think he's one of the most entertaining characters there is.
Yeah, he's a legend for sure.
Yeah, to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
On that note, I'd have to say my favorite, Vince McMahon.
Oh, all right.
Ultimate bad guy.
The ultimate man. You gotta beat the man. He is the man.
The McMahon.
Yeah, the McMahon at that.
That's a good one. I like that. The
So-
boss, you know?
Okay, so if you could talk about our favorite wrestlers, if you guys could have a beer with any wrestler, who would it be? Jerry?
I'm gonna go with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah, I think that's gonna be the.
No, but hear me out. This is a little bit different. He's used to drinking, his Coors Lights and his Budweisers. I'm gonna be the person to convert him to craft beer, and he's gonna be an IPA maniac. And I think, and plus, all the stories you would hear, probably get into a bar fight.
What about you, Tony?
Wrestler I would say The Rock too, just because I'm such a big fan.
Okay.
I would have to say Stone Cold, just like JJ. I mean,
Dude, this is good. Another weird one. I want to drink with Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Because I hear
I
such
dig it.
derogatory things from him, but then again, when I see his interviews, his like shoot interviews, he seems like a real dude, and I'd want to drink with him because he's 7 feet.
Yeah, Jerry and I actually met the guy at the Orlando Ale House. He's a super cool guy.
Super nice.
Yeah. He kind of looks like he would be a dick, but super nice guy.
Who would we drink good gourd with?
Yeah, speaking of the beers we're drinking today, if I had to share a pumpkin beer with somebody,
Shane Helms,
wow,
the Hurricane.
Hurricane.
What's up with that?
I don't know. That's random, but sure, why not?
That's why I said
Yeah. I like him. He's a cool guy. A good wrestler. Sure.
See, I probably would be. I'd go with Andre the Giant.
Yeah, man.
I can drink a few.
Post-mortem?
Yeah. I'd just lay right
You'll
down next to
definitely
him.
beat him.
Just lay there, and I'll pour one out for the homie. But
He could
Poor
probably
keg.
still outdrink me.
yeah.
Even post-mortem.
So what would
Legendary drinker.
that brings us to our beer pool question. You can tweet us at BeerBrosBS with the hashtag beer poll. Who would you like to have if you could have a beer with any wrestler? Who would it be? Would be kind of ridiculous to drink with a dead man.
Except if it's the Undertaker.
That's true.
What would be the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen in wrestling? For me, most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, Ric Flair's ass, and I've seen it twice, and it's so white. I thought the sun was out, but it was the moon.
It's ridiculous. It's gotta be pretty sexy. It's Ric Flair at the end of the day, man. That guy's the man.
The nature boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, has Sheamus' ass ever been shown in ring? Because that's probably
No, but that would probably be whiter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but it's gonna probably be the same color, so you wouldn't tell the difference between the rest of him and his ass.
Sure, you sure it wouldn't be translucent? You see through it.
You can see his spleen.
Oh, God.
What about you, Dan?
Oh, the most ridiculous thing? Oh,
Over
jeez.
the
There's
top
so many,
ridiculous,
man.
right?
I mean, I think you've got to go with the Shockmaster. He's going to shock the world and fall through the wall.
Isn't he? He died, didn't he? The real Shockmaster.
I
That
don't
was Earthquake.
know.
No. That
It was Typhoon.
Typhoon.
It was the other guy.
The other natural
It was
disaster.
Typhoon.
He might have been dead too. I don't know.
Aw.
But yeah, no, he was they hyped this guy up for months. Oh, Sting's bringing in this special, opponent for to fight Flair. He brings in a dude in a stormtrooper helmet with glitter on it, and he busts through the wall and falls on his ass. And it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, you can hear all the other wrestlers in the background,
They're
people
laughing.
backstage saying, "Oh God, he fell down. His mask came off."
Dude, one of the most ridiculous things I saw. This is not ridiculous in a funny thing. I saw Sid when he did the drop kick, and he fell and he shattered his tibia.
Ooh, yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was bad.
Yeah,
That was rough.
I seen it.
yeah.
I seen it.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yeah.
What about you, Jerry?
I'm gonna go with something a little bit more recent. It's from an indie wrestling company, and you can look it up. It's from PWG. It's the slow motion wrestling. All of a sudden, the match just goes in slow motion. Even the crowd chants are in slow motion. So
that's crazy.
this is awesome. It was really good. It was pretty funny. And all of a sudden, one of the wrestlers like, "What the hell are we doing?" and gets the match going again.
That's cool.
Tony?
Nothing's ever going to top the Shockmaster, I don't think. If you've never seen the Shockmaster, go on YouTube and watch it.
What about RoboCop?
Yes, that's a pretty good one too.
RoboCop is awful.
RoboCop coming into WCW
That helps Sting.
to help Sting.
RoboCop, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
RoboCop
I
actually
could've
it was
done right now.
I think it was a promotion for like the RoboCop 2 movie.
Yeah.
Where he comes and he like rips the door off the handle. The door's already off the handle. Like, it's not even. But the guy ends up tearing it, which I think is.
That's awesome.
But at least RoboCop did not fall on his face, and his helmet didn't fall off, and he wasn't covered in purple glitter.
That's very true.
It wasn't a stormtrooper outfit with purple glitter.
Serge?
Most ridiculous. I mean, as soon as you said it, it just popped into my head. The Mae Young, was it? Giving birth to, to Mark
hands.
Henry's hand.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty like. I don't know why that popped in my head. I was just like, it just came out.
That's pretty ridiculous.
To this day, I still don't understand. Haven't completely grasped it.
I like it.
Even you
That's a good
explaining it, I
call.
don't understand it.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Sexual chocolate, everybody. That were good. That were good.
Armando, anything? Most
No,
ridiculous?
that's-
You got anyone?
Yeah, the RoboCop.
The other thing, I'm gonna throw in a second helping. Any of the things, any sketch with Mae Young,
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was hilarious.
pretty
She's a
ridiculous.
badass.
We were talking about another ridiculous one was the shooting star press falling on his face by Brock Lesnar. Talking about in memoriam of that was at your house. We watched it at your house.
I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah, that
Watch
was
it at
back in the
Surge's
day.
Goodness
house.
gracious.
Crazy. What's that?
Still an incredible match.
So then let me bring it up to the last question. Wrestling and WrestleMania. What would be your favorite wrestler of all time or favorite group?
Group, I like that. Suck it!
Yeah, DX.
So I think Serge is going with DX.
Degeneration X.
Definitely.
Right. I guess if it's two separate things, I'm gonna say my favorite wrestler of all time is gonna be Chris Jericho. Just all around, awesome on the mic, one of the best wrestlers ever.
Rock and roller.
Exactly. And then faction, I'm gonna have to say the NWO because that's what took me from a casual wrestling fan to I must see everything, and that's when the same time Rey Mysterio came around, and that's when international wrestling blew up in my mind.
Tony?
Mysterio, NWO.
Yeah, the NWO, that was like that was the high point of wrestling for me, that whole era. Just like, you have Hulk Hogan turning heel, which, just blew everybody's mind at the time, and, they were just getting everybody to join them. And this whole, WCW versus
mustache.
NWO
It was
stuff.
bad news.
It was entertaining for the time. Yeah.
What about those old farts called the Four Horsemen?
Oh,
Those guys
man.
They weren't always
Excuse
old.
me?
You tell. Old.
Arn Anderson can probably still fight you.
Any wrestler can beat me up, that's for sure. But
I think he's on
that.
dialysis now.
I thought
I don't think he can move his right arm actually.
I don't think so either. I think he really is on dialysis. I'm not joking.
Oh,
Jeez.
that's sad.
Dude, the
He
Hardy
does
Boys.
the Bob Dole.
Yes, the
Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian are
Heck yeah.
those two are like a tie for me.
Ooh, yeah.
Those guys right
Edge and
there,
Christian,
they
yeah.
changed it for me because it went from big, strong, juiced up dudes to like regular regular guys doing the most outlandish stuff, dude. Flying off scaffolds and
Ladders.
ladders and stuff like that. They changed the game for me.
Dan?
Favorite faction? If I have to go back in the day, I would look at the Nation of Domination.
Ho ho, we
Yeah.
are the nation.
Yeah, man. You know, brought in The Rock, brought in,
Colonel Mustafa,
you know, Farouk, eventually the guy that became the Godfather.
which was Papa Shango.
Yeah, Papa Shango. Yeah. You know, they had Owen Hart for a while. You know, I think the Nation was awesome, and they had the most basic theme song ever, but it still got stuck in your head every time.
We are the nation of domination.
Dun, 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 dun. And that's basically the whole song.
Yeah, and excuse Issa for calling the Four Horsemen old farts. Really, dude?
Well, now.
But I know, but I mean, there wouldn't be anything else. There wouldn't be NWO, there wouldn't be DX or Nation.
They were the original.
They were the original big stable of all time. And
they were badass.
And they were all champions and they're all right, all badass main eventers.
That's why they're my favorite ones. Us.
Okay, what are you calling them old farts?
Well, they're old. When I saw them, they were like the older wrestlers. You know, like
my favorite.
that's why they have me here.
The power slam. Bang.
Issa Lopez, everybody. Issa Lopez.
Should be
For me, I have to say my favorite wrestler of all time. See, this is a hard one. I'm gonna go. Hey, I already got this look from Jerry already. Give me this look of just blurt it out. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. Jay Leno. Jay Leno. He went out there. He has a full-time fucking job. Excuse my language. He has a full-time job, and he fought Karl Malone
That's true.
and the NWO. He took them all on
With DDP's help.
with DDP, and he's helping everybody these days. So.
Yoga.
Dude, DDP is the man.
DDP yoga.
For
Hey,
real.
quick shout out to Macho Man, who just got into the Hall of Fame. Ooh, yeah!
So while we segue into our theme park next section, we have 2 more beers. I think we're going to be doing I think Dan brought It's a Trap.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, I have a growler of It's a Trap, a Belgian Trappist style quad. It's about 12% ABV, I believe, and it's from J. Wakefield Brewing from here in Miami. And yeah, I love this beer.
Sorry,
It's,
our first growler.
It is the first growler we've featured on this show, and I figured it would be appropriate to have it be from, you know, a hometown favorite brewery.
He's got a badass logo too.
Why don't you describe the logo, Issa?
It looks like pipes, like industrial, like
Yeah, like spelling out his
Bioshock.
spelling out his
Bioshock.
initials. Yeah,
It reminds me of that.
it is pretty cool looking.
Great choice. I love those guys. Hey, they got me into beer.
Yeah, man.
So the first question is, let me ask you guys, what would be your favorite theme park and why? Jerry.
Okay, I'm going to go with Cedar Point in Ohio. One of the best roller coaster amusement parks that there is. Just more roller coasters than you can think of. They're bigger, faster, more intense than anything probably you've ever done in your life, and Disney ever hopes to do.
Yeah,
Tony?
I gotta. Oh,
Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
you know what? I had to jump in, man. I agree with you. When you mentioned, you know, better than I think Disney hopes to do, I actually heard that Disney was trying to do some more thrilling type of rides, but I mean, who knows what that'll really entail. But anyways, yeah, I gotta agree with you, man. Cedar Point is just phenomenal, and I have a feeling that Tony's probably gonna say the same thing, but let's see what he says.
It would be Cedar Point. Like Cedar Point, I think by any measure, is if you're a fan of thrill rides, that is the top place to go in the country. But I'll shout out a couple other places. One place I went, which is also really awesome, was Magic Mountain in California. They got some really great coasters there, and and Six Flags over Atlanta is another really good one.
Yeah, I've also been there pretty good.
Yeah, this is gonna sound fun. This is gonna sound weird, but the first place that I've ever been to, aside from the rides themselves, I'm not even a fan of these movies. The Harry Potter universe that they created is overlooked by us because we live here, but they did such an amazing job. I actually felt like I was in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, walking through it, I felt like I was at that place. I mean, yeah, the ride was whatever, but the actual environment and the...
And you're talking about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's
Universal,
crazy.
Right?
It's crazy. And the thing is that coming from somebody who's not even a fan of that movie or that the looks or anything that to me was the. But I'm also very limited in my experiences. I haven't been to those places that they're saying, So.
What about you, Lisa? What's your favorite theme park?
My favorite theme park would have to be a trip I took to Hershey, Pennsylvania a couple years back. That was probably by far the best theme park I've been to yet. I mean, I never went to the Six Flags when you guys went, but my favorite ride there was a wooden coaster called. It was a wooden roller coaster called the Wildcat. That was probably the fastest wooden roller coaster that I've ever been on. And just being in the park, it was clean. It smelled like manure, but for some reason, I don't know why, it was really clean.
Well, it's called Hershey.
It smelled like manure for some reason. I guess they used it was a lot of flowers, and they really kept it nice and clean.
Well fertilized.
Well fertilized, yeah. But,
hey man,
and I could not smell chocolate in the air. Supposedly they say they open the vents in the daytime, at nighttime or something, or the daytime, so you could smell the whiff of the chocolate, from the factory.
Well, you did. You got a whiff of the chocolate.
I did not smell it. But it had one of the best rides, man. It had one of the best rides.
Issa, for some reason, I don't think they're going to choose you as their spokesperson.
No, they're not, though. But it was one of my favorite rides, like wooden roller coaster at Hershey Park.
Okay.
I gotta say, I love your eloquent use of the word manure.
See, I'd have to go with my favorite theme park. No one said Disney, but I'll go Disney. You can do anything. You can have a good time.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, any place you want to go there. You can always find something. They're always something going on. So I'd have to go with that.
Any particular park in Disney, or
nothing particular. There's just so much you can do there. If you happen to get an annual pass, or us in Florida, we can get a Florida annual pass, which is even cheaper. I mean, there's so much you could do. But what would be the best ride you've ever been on, Jerry?
All right, I'm going to go with, at Kings Island, also in Ohio, it's going to be the Diamondback. It's one of the listed Giga coasters. What makes this particular roller coaster so special is that the seats are elevated. Almost think of like bar stools.
Yeah.
So it's got like a stem and then just kind of like a bucket that you fall into. There's no seat belt, and it's a lap bar that's hydraulic that comes down. And so your feet are still dangling even though you're sitting. And the first drop's about 285 feet, I believe it is. It goes 85 miles per hour. And it does
so smooth.
A bunch of the low gravity sections that's where you go up at the peak of the hill. You lose a sense of gravity for a split second. And it does about 5 or 6 times.
This is the airtime section.
The airtime sections.
That's
thank
my
you.
favorite, and I haven't been there. Your explanation has done it for me.
What about you, Tony? What's your favorite ride of all time?
Of course, JJ stole my answer. Yeah, that's really one of it's one of the best rides I've been on for sure. For the same reasons. Like most roller coasters, you'll have like a over-the-shoulder bar to keep you, in the car. This one, you just have this like little thing on your lap, and the rest of you is like free. It's almost like you're barely secured, but you're perfectly safe, and it's just great.
Nice.
Serge.
One time there was, I think it was 2004. There was this Brazilian chick. Holy smokes, what a ride! Woo! But
That's Serge, everybody.
theme park rides. I'm gonna have to talk to Guinness to see Guinness, not the beer, though. Cheers to them because they're awesome. But Guinness World Records to see who holds the record on Captain EO in Epcot.
It's actually the same company.
Is it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Guinness beer makes
Guinness World Record, yes.
I did not know that.
You just blew my mind right now.
Hashtag TIL.
Today I learned.
That is awesome. So Captain EO.
Wait, is
at
that's what
Epcot
TIL
Center.
stands for?
Yeah, man.
Today I learned.
Yeah, I just learned that today as well.
I learned it.
We're just learning a lot.
Alright, so what about
I'm gonna have to say
Captain EO?
Captain EO, Epcot Center.
Oh yeah, man.
Orlando, Florida. Come on by. Beautiful ride. It was made in the 80s. They closed it down for a bit, then they reopened it up, and it's still in its 80s glory with the 3D from the 80s, which is awesome. It's got 2 Michael Jackson videos. It's directed by George Lucas and
Francis Ford Coppola.
Francis
Boom.
Ford Coppola.
There we go.
And that's
Beautiful
for
ride.
those who don't know, that's the reason why Nicolas Cage has a career.
That's true.
It's because of Francis Ford Coppola.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
man,
his
that's
uncle.
his, that's his last name.
That's
his
his
name
name.
is Nicholas Coppola.
No way. I didn't know that. Okay. I
Yeah,
thought he
man.
had a career because of Ghost Rider.
No,
That's
it
why
was-
he doesn't have a
That's
career
what he
anymore.
doesn't. That's
I want his face.
He has
off.
he has his career because of National Treasure. That's why.
I actually like National Treasure. Though.
That movie,
I
National
watched that on
Treasure,
TNT a
National
bunch.
And now it's time on the podcast to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, yes.
What? I don't know what it is, but it sounds awesome.
Armando, favorite ride?
Man, I'm a Marvel fanatic, and again, I'm very limited in my experiences with rides. I wish what JJ and Tony's explanations, but I would say
Brazilians, bro.
and
Brazilians.
well, my current girlfriend's Brazilian. I hope she's not you're my fave, babe. Man, I gotta say the Hulk for just because it's like 15 seconds reminiscent of certain experiences in my life.
Oh man.
What about you, Issa? What's your favorite ride?
My favorite ride would be when we went to Vegas at the Stratosphere.
Yes.
Dude,
All
I
those rides
agree.
up there were insane.
I agree, man.
I
That-
think I never felt more scared
insane.
in my life.
Yeah.
It's called Insanity, the one that
Oh, it takes
takes
you
you
off
out.
the roof
Yeah.
of like the 112th floor or something.
No, it's higher than that.
Yeah.
That's
It's
from
like
the
900 feet.
It's 143 stories. I think.
Something ridiculous.
No, the
900
needle.
feet.
The needle ride.
Dude, it's ridiculously high, and it's like it made me almost shit my pants.
Holy smoke, shit.
But then again, you shit your pants all the time.
Yeah, you do have that IBS going on.
Yeah, you know, man. You know.
You know.
For me, I'd have to say my favorite ride of all time is not actually a ride that I'm on. It's also Universal. I believe it's the Bullwinkle ride.
Yes.
Because I get to shoot people with water as they get off.
Oh, it's a log ride.
The log ride.
Yeah.
All right.
I usually spend about $40 to $60 in quarters, and I usually time it out since I go with my nephew or my sister, my younger sister, or anybody, or she takes her husband. Usually, I'll plan out 4 or 5 water cannons and time it. So usually, people get off the ride. They're usually happy. I didn't get wet on this ride, and then you get soaked for about 30 seconds because I've timed it out to a science, to the T, to get the most maximize that water saturation. It's perfect.
This is classic Dave, getting his pleasures from other people's suffering.
Yeah. Creating misery.
he loves having people suffer.
Issa Lopez, everybody.
Yeah, he makes me suffer. He does.
So, what would be everyone's favorite ride? Not at a theme park, but at a fair, county fair, youth fair.
Ooh.
For me, I threw this one out there. Didn't think of this. For me, it's the Viking boat, because those things are so shoddy, and you can just easily. I mean, the bar comes down,
Dude,
and you can
lift it
just easily lift it up. And I'll never forget. I think it was one of the last times I ever went on that. I was with a friend. Shout out to Chris Scott.
Yeah.
He we were sitting next to it, and as you were at the pinnacle, at the height of it, he opened the bar, and we rode it the rest of the ride with the bar up.
Oh, God.
And I think we also crapped our pants.
You know, man, I've got to go with the Gravitron.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, even though it gives you a freaking migraine, it's still an awesome ride, and I love being able to kind of like get up sideways on the wall and try to like flip over and screw. Just it's awesome. Hey man,
Hey, you're having a better
screw
time with the
around,
fair than
screw
I am.
around. I mean, yeah. Freudian slip, everybody.
Yeah, I saw a girl's boob come out of her top when she tried to do that.
Was it plastered against her neck?
For some reason, gravity wasn't working.
So Issa, what's your favorite carnival ride?
The Polar Express.
Yeah.
I like that one.
that like
movie with Tom Hanks?
You got the techno, like Swedish music, house music.
Scream.
Who wants to
That's
have
called
that?
Himalaya,
It's
dude.
the same as the
Yeah.
Himalaya.
You mean the Himalaya?
I've
heard of that.
That's the same shit.
there's two of them.
Same thing,
Exact
one of the
same ride.
Himalaya, same thing.
No, it's the same thing, man.
Yeah.
And then
I
they
think it's
stop,
also called the Matterhorn, and there's like a million of them.
The Tom
and
Hanks.
then like halfway through, you're like, oh, this was a good ride, and they're like, no, now we're going in backwards.
Yes.
And they all have the same
What's a twist?
gentleman's club.
Go faster.
Yeah, the same gentleman's club voice telling you what you need to do.
Everybody scream!
Let's go backwards.
And all right, Tony, what is your favorite Carnival ride.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have it at the local Dade County Youth Fair anymore, but it was the double looping roller coaster.
Yeah, man.
Double looper.
I don't know why they don't bring it anymore.
Somebody died on one.
No, they didn't.
No, that's not why they took it away.
I don't know.
I think it was too
I was hoping
expensive to
so.
It
transport.
was too
or something.
expensive to transport.
Yeah.
They actually had something better at Oktoberfest, though. Do you remember that?
Which
They had a quadruple looper.
What?
Oh yeah.
Twice as good.
in half the time.
Was that a beer funnel or was that a actual
That was
ride?
actual roller.
Shit.
No, it was the name of a beer.
Nice. All
It
right.
was a Belgian.
Yeah. I'm not big on the regular like ones that rotate you in a circle for 5 minutes. I'm more about roller coasters. So yeah, double looper.
Yeah, the double tongue twister. I'm gonna go with.
Isa.
I did.
I'm gonna go with a banned ride that was only at the fair 1 year. It was called the Force 10, and the idea was it was one of the spinny arm ones. It had like 3 different arms, and at the same time there was fog and strobe light effects.
Sure.
But it would go so fast it would reach G-force 10 supposedly, which is complete garbage. You would die. But you came off that ride, you couldn't walk for a good 10 minutes. I think that's why it was called the Force 10 because you couldn't walk for 10 minutes. How about you, Sarge?
Wait, before we jump to the next one, actually, we're working on our third beer now.
Oh, yeah,
Brought
yeah,
to
that
us
one.
by Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
What'd you bring us?
What do we got?
This next one is Halia by Goose Island Beer Company from Chicago.
Goose Island's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a
Never heard.
a saison aged in wine barrels with peaches.
Tony, maybe you could answer me. Why is it that this company that makes this beer has these weird names like Pepe, Nero, and Sophie, and what's this one called?
Halia.
Halia. What's up with that? Maybe you.
That's what they decided.
Yeah.
No, he can't
Yeah.
answer that question.
Yeah, I guess I can. But, I mean, they do like the a lot of them. They call them the sisters. So all
They
their,
have, like,
all their different like kind of sour ales are named for. They have like women's names.
Yeah.
There's like a Jillian and
Yeah.
Okay.
whatever else.
The ones that are not sours, those are like the Pepe Nero, and they have like Père Jacques.
The French name.
Yeah, some of their like dude names, but that's what they went with. I don't know their reasoning.
So, it was Surge.
Yeah, Search.
Yes, sir.
Favorite carnival ride, Surge.
Favorite carnival ride. I'm gonna have to go with this ride. I can't remember the name of it, but it was similar to Magic Kingdom's teacup ride, where you're sitting in this like saucer, and the saucer's spinning around, and then it's also sitting on another metal plate, and they're all spinning around.
So-
So everybody's just spinning.
The
So-
Tilt-A-Whirl?
Not the tilt-a-whirl, because it had like disco music and like crazy 80s and like music.
It was like an apple.
No, not the apple.
Oh,
Because
it's
there's
the same
strawberries.
thing. It's
There's
very
strawberries.
similar.
There's bears.
'Cause it-
But this one was
as
like
fast as you
open
can
top.
spin it.
It was open top and was like you spin in the middle.
Yeah, that's right.
I only rode it once, but it was like it had like mirrors on the walls and like
I think he was on LSD.
no, definitely not. But
Favorite carnival ride.
I'm gonna be honest. My favorite carnival ride has to be the Double Looper because it was when I was younger.
Yeah.
I'll get into another rant later, but Double Looper for sure. Yeah, it was like the coolest thing when you were younger. You stand in line for 45 minutes for a 15-second ride.
What about the Kamikaze ride? That was also a cool ride.
Kamikaze's cool.
Someone died on
When they
that.
made that pin, when they made that top one, they stuck there.
isn't that
So
what
you guys run the worst carnival ever, killing everybody.
Oh, I guess we just think about it. Like, we don't see the ride anymore. So
Final
people die.
Destination.
Hey, where's that ride again? Oh, they died.
Dan, you have another one? No? Okay. So, what would be everyone's favorite water park? For me, it's I'm gonna have to say Typhoon Lagoon. Actually, I love Typhoon Lagoon. I love having that big ass wave come at me, and I'm like,
Bring it.
bring it. And after a couple times,
I
they're
did
knocking
not
you
seal
back.
it.
And after a couple times, then you're like, oh, you can swim with it and have it. If you can swim fast enough, you can actually take off on it and do kind of like a belly flop, like a 4-foot, 5-foot belly flop, which is kind of nice. What about you, Jerry?
Well, I'm gonna go with Disney as well. I'm gonna go with Blizzard Beach, which probably most people are gonna say. One, convenience, because they have a ski lift that takes you to the top of the rides, the major rides, and just the variation rides, and the ice tunnel when you're doing the lazy river, and you can push all your friends that don't know that they've never been, and it's freezing water, and you can make them freak out.
I'm gonna have to go with, for all you guys that grew up in Miami, Atlantis, the Water Kingdom.
Yeah.
I can't remember where it was, but I just know that it had a giant Poseidon.
Yes.
North
And-
Miami.
I
It was
remember
North
that
Miami
when I was
somewhere,
little
right?
kid.
Yeah, and it had an
Yeah.
awesome
Hurricane
ride.
Andrew destroyed it.
Such a great. Yeah, that was definitely.
Surge definitely sports the like whole King Neptune look.
Yes.
He even brought his trident.
He left it in his surfboard outside. Tony.
For me, it's Blizzard Beach as well. Not that I have many other options to choose from, but it's hard to beat the Summit Plummet. You know, how tall is that one?
It's 110 feet.
110 foot water slide that goes nearly straight down at the beginning, and you hit like 65 miles per hour like on this slide. So very intense, and also the Summit Plummet. Oh no, that was it. Sorry.
Yeah,
The other one
Checks your
is-
prostate
Downhill,
all the way down.
downhill double dippers next door.
No, what's the other one? The bumpy one. Slush Gusher.
Slush Gusher, yes.
Which also
all
you,
sound fabulous.
you catch some air on that one, which is also pretty intense.
You actually come off the slide for a few seconds. It's kind of terrifying.
Not a few seconds, but a split second.
Well, it feels like a few seconds.
That's true.
Yeah, at the top of those rides, you can actually see, if you look out, you can see the Tower of Terror, and you're actually at the same level as that ride.
It's high.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite ride would have to be my favorite theme water park would be the Typhoon Lagoon. It was my first time going there last year, and I loved it. It's different than Blizzard Beach, though. I think one of the rides I enjoyed there the most was that Chiquita Banana one that was like you're in a factory.
Oh, no, the water coaster.
The water coaster. It's
Yeah,
a
that was
water
cool.
coaster,
Oh.
and that was like a really fun ride.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Chiquita Banana.
Yeah, you're in a factory, like a Chiquita Banana factory.
Yeah, they're the ones who sponsor
Sponsor
the
it.
ride.
Yeah.
It was a cool ride
Yeah, the cool thing about that is there's parts where you actually go uphill on
Yeah.
these like little.
with water jets.
Water
They
jets.
shoot you up.
Right.
You know, okay, I'm gonna go with Adventure Island in Tampa, Florida. It's about a block away from Busch Gardens, and yeah, it was like the first major water park that I had ever went to, and it's kind of stuck with me. It has one of my favorite group slides that you take in a tube with about 4 or 5 other people, and you do like this humongous group slide down.
With
I
like
forgot
a
what
tube or?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
in a
and
tube
it's
with about 5 or 6 people.
It's enclosed, too.
Yeah, parts of it are open, parts of it are enclosed, and I think it's called it's like a river rapid kind of thing. I don't know. It's pretty awesome.
Tube's gotta be huge.
It's pretty big,
Awesome.
man. Yeah. It fits like 5 full
I
grown.
would say Wet and Wild, man. For the price, like
Yeah.
I've been bored, and I've just driven 3.5 hours to Orlando, and it's like $27. And you do the Disco H2O, and I know they tell you not to get out of those, but I always get kicked off the ride because I jump off the freaking, and it does that whole toilet bowl action. And I actually like the ride better without the inflatable tube that they give you. Yeah, I get in trouble all the time with this.
That's a plus to water parks. They're always way cheaper than going to the main theme parks.
$27.
Like 20, 30, maybe 40.
We got an annual pass for
Really?
$100 for Disney's water parks.
And you can go to both.
Yeah.
So if you could have your own theme park or fair, what would it be?
All right, I'm gonna go with the adults only theme park. All right, all right.
You already have that. It's called Playboy Mansion.
All right. Yeah, those are thrill rides. No, but
go faster.
no, so my idea it would be a resort, like Sandals or one of those kind of places, where so it's a hotel, a resort that everything's there that you need. Bars and clubs. It's 21 and over, and it's got all adult rides, but then also kind of kiddie rides, like bumper cars, so it's like DUI bumper cars. You can drink and bump into other people.
Okay, well, basically, no children are allowed to partake in it.
Yes, that's the
I don't need
primary
bumper
thing.
cards to bump into.
And you get free
women.
drinks, unlimited drinks the whole time you're there.
So
That's
it
I
sounds
think-
like Las Vegas.
So you pretty much just described heaven on
Sounds
earth.
like South Beach.
Sounds like Las Vegas,
They don't
You're
have
drunk,
roller
you bump
coasters
to the
on
women.
South Beach.
They do. It depends on the drugs and the chicks that you're with.
and which hotel you're staying at.
Yeah.
Depends on
Delano.
who's driving.
You'd be surprised how strong those Art Deco lights are. Those bulbs are.
Surf Comer.
Oh, Jesus.
Tony?
Well, I kind of like JJ's thought about it, but one thing I would make sure to include is like a canyon swing kind of ride or experience. Where
Can you explain to us what a canyon swing is?
yeah, it's and you can YouTube it. Basically, like I went to New Zealand last year, and in Queenstown, they have a canyon swing where you go on. You basically like jump off a platform, which is like some 200 feet in the air, and you swing through a canyon. It's just like free fall, and you like swing.
So kind of like Wile E. Coyote.
Sounds terrifyingly awesome.
It is exactly terrifyingly awesome, and you can go off this thing however you want. Forwards, backwards, upside down. Running.
Superman.
You can like ride a little tricycle off of it or slide off
Nice.
of it.
That's my heaven right there.
Yeah. So that's going to be part of your adults.
Wow.
Theme park land.
Thank you.
Issa?
If I would have to open a park, I would like to make it where you could. It's nudity involved.
So basically, you just want to partner with Jerry for a park.
No.
That's called Hullover Beach.
I want to have some nudity.
Do you want to say clothing optional?
Canopy swings, like canopy zip line.
But
So you're naked, but you're nude.
Okay. Naked, but you're nude.
Issa Lopez, everybody.
Oh yeah.
So you're basically you're nude except for the harness, which you have to wear to not fall off the zip line.
No harness.
Use your hands.
You are wearing the
It's a
harness.
suicide party.
Excess skin.
I feel bad for the guy that he has to hire that has to clean the harness after every participant.
For me, I'd have to say I'd recreate Duff World from The Simpsons.
Ooh, good move.
Magic Kingdom, but of beer. So you have it's a small world. You're going through beer. You want to take a cup. Scoop up some beer while you're down there.
And diet salmonella.
It's filtered.
Yeah.
Always continually fermenting. So it's good. You have instead of teacups, like Serge likes, we'll have beer mugs.
All right.
Spinning beer mugs. We have everything will be beer themed and beer on every ride and plenty of bathrooms everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
You mean bushes?
That's what I said. Bathroom.
I'll tell you who does porta potties right though. Ultra. I went there this weekend, and they had a city of porta potties. Like no lie,
It's like
porta
3 or 4
potties
blocks
of porta potties.
green plastic
Yes,
bathrooms
Yes.
with really
and
smelly.
you didn't have to wait that long because it was
there's
just a
900
sea of porta
of them.
potties.
What a terrific smell you discovered.
No, but there's a picture going around Instagram.
Oh, God.
There's a picture. I have to get the picture though. I'll post it up on the website if I can. If Big Dave lets me put it up though.
I don't think you will.
Dave,
He's already shaking his head. No, we're not posting your porta potties or anything to do.
There's a roofied out chick
We're definitely not going to post that. Shut the fuck up.
in a porta potty.
Oh man.
Okay, so Dan, do you have a theme park that you'd like to create?
The opposite of whatever Issa just said. something with full clothing and real bathrooms.
And no roofies.
Oh, maybe a few.
Beers, Bros, and BS does not advocate giving women roofies.
or leaving them in the bathroom.
I do say please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Dude, I'm a huge and as I've gotten older, I don't want to say worse, but I've gotten more into it. I'm a huge comic book fan. I love the theme of Islands of Adventure. I'd like to keep it comic themed, and all the rides comic themed. Because I'm a 31-year-old man, and when I go to the Hulk, or when I go to these rides, or when I walk through these Islands of Adventure, dude, I get chills. I'm like a 5-year-old. I get super excited. I want to keep them total.
I'd have to agree with you on that.
Geeked out, man.
I remember the last time I went to Islands of Adventure, I went up to got a picture with Cyclops, and I would happen to be wearing a Detroit Tigers hat that day. And first thing he said to me, "Hey, what's going on, buddy? Nice hat. I love that. Detroit Tigers. That's my team too." And I said, "Oh, I'm from there." I'm thinking like,
Scott Summers is from Detroit.
like you broke your character. Why would you do that? You just ruined it.
Scott Summers is not from Detroit.
Yeah, I have to.
He's got to protect his secret identity.
Yeah.
So for our final question of the show, any of you have a special event, moment at a theme park or a carnival or fair? Jerry?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Star Wars Weekends at MGM.
It's happening right now, isn't
it? May 15th,
Hollywood
baby.
Studio. Yeah, exactly. So it's coming up. They was trying to do it around May the 4th.
Actually, I meant to say, I'm like, did you have a special event that happened to you?
Oh,
Not a special event there.
Special
Like your
memory.
favorite special.
Yeah, it was just favorite memory.
okay.
Favorite memory is still Star Wars Weekends.
Yeah, it's still that because that was the first time that I didn't go to Star Wars Celebration or anything like that, and even just walking into the park at 6 a.m, which we got ridiculously early up for, and there's stormtroopers on top of the ticket counters, like way up on top, and they've got walking around with the rifles, and just to see all the characters, it felt like you were walking into the actual Star Wars universe, and
So awesome.
It was amazing.
Heck yeah.
Tony, what's your favorite memory?
There's a lot of good ones, but one that comes to mind is, when I went on the Ohio trip with Dan and JJ here, at Kings Island, Dan and I did the Sky Coaster, which is pretty similar to what I described with the Canyon Swing. Basically, they harness you in and they pull you up to some like really high height and drop you, and you like swing back and forth for a while. Fully gravity.
And I would like to throw Dan under the bus here. As it was going up, he was like, it's high enough, pull the cord. And another thing is, another great memory I want to point out from Ohio is from Diamondback. We took one of the greatest pictures in roller coaster ride history. And we even had an extra guy who threw in a little flex pose, and we did some funny poses. We're going to put the picture up on for you guys to see on our Twitter page and the Instagram page. It's going to be really funny. You should definitely check it out.
Armando?
Man, it's going back to the whole purpose and of what I said. My theme park would be based on comics. The first time I saw Islands of Adventure with the Marvel theme, my mind was blown. They had limited edition comics that were like only available either online or at that specific like little comic shops that they have. It was awesome. Yeah, that had to be Islands of Adventure with the Marvel theme. Blew my mind. I wish it was bigger. It's just really limited. That's why I want my park to be enormous and all full of craziness everywhere. And like Mr. Sinister walking around, some weird.
Totally cool.
Dan, favorite memory?
Oh man, there's so many. It's hard to even like decide. But I might have to go way, way, way back to high school days when I would go with the St. John Newman youth group over to what they would call Night of Joy at Magic Kingdom.
I did my communion there.
Yeah, man. And besides that, also grad night as well was a lot of fun. But those high school trips over to Disney were just ridiculous, man. Awesome. And that's what I gotta say.
Very cool.
What about you, sir?
I'm gonna have to say mine. My best memory comes from the year, possibly about 2003, I want to say. I obviously love Star Wars already. Planned a trip with my then girlfriend to Magic Kingdom. Middle of May, cool. We're gonna check out Disney. Walk in and everything is Star Wars. I did not know that was Star Wars Weekend. I didn't even know Star Wars Weekend existed yet. And I was blown away. It was awesome. It was great stuff.
I gotta say the same thing. A Star Wars Weekend. I think it's one of the best things, and they're actually bringing it now to the cruise lines. The Disney cruise lines are gonna have a Star Wars themed cruise.
They're expensive as well.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Like five, like
but I think they just got rated like the 5th year in a row, like the best cruise in the entire galaxy or something.
Well, that's tough to say.
Yeah, if you're under 12.
But it was the first.
If they would like to have this podcast rate them and send us a free trip, we'd gladly accept it.
We'll gladly review.
Honestly.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
We'll do a live podcast.
I'm dead serious. Even for guests of the podcast.
But I wanted to say, just to finish up, though, meeting Mark. Well, I didn't meet him, though, but I saw him, Mark Hamill. I mean, I know you guys seen him at comic shows, but like to go to Star Wars weekends and meet a lot of the actors that you grew up watching. Like I met, Lando Calrissian, I saw Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, I saw Mark Hamill. I was like a little kid, you know, like, and then you get to pictures, you know, with Darth Vader and Boba Fett and, you know, all these characters you get to meet.
And the costumes are on point, too.
And they're like legit, yeah, they're like super authentic, and just the experience alone was the best experience I've ever had at Disney. And kudos to them for that.
Nice. For me, I'd have to say Magic Kingdom. I'd have to say I got my first real kiss. Wasn't a pop kiss.
Was it from Minnie Mouse?
No, it was not. It was not from a rodent. It was from a human.
Actual human woman, you guys. I would have taken one from her.
Yeah, I bet you would. Interspecies erotica.
She's kind of cute, kinky kind of way.
No, it's a perversion. Is what I'd have to say.
All right then.
80-year-old mouse that does not age. I don't know what you'd call that.
Well, she looks kind of sexy in polka dots. She does look sexy in polka dots. Is it too soon?
Gary.
Makes different
Wasn't he in wrestling?
What are you talking
Wasn't Gary Coleman in wrestling? No.
No. What's his name? Todd Bridges was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom Bridges?
Todd Bridges. His older brother, Different Strokes.
Okay, so on that note, we're signing off. I'm Dave, the Big Librarian. You can also find me contributing on toughgnarl.com.
Ow!
I'm Dan, Dan12com.
Armando Solar.
Serge Cruz. Serge Cruz.
JJ, the Metal Chef.
Tony.
And I'm Issa.
All right, thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Delicious.